Welcome to Real Estate Radio Live, an informative and engaging podcast discussing everything you need to know about the world of real estate. Your host, 𝗘𝗀𝗓𝗏, provides you with insight and guidance on how to buy, sell, finance, and invest in real estate. He also offers real estate tax management strategies, new construction advice, home improvement tips, and much, much more. And now, to guide you around the world of real estate, here's your host and Real Estate Radio Live team leader, 𝗘𝗀𝗓𝗏.
Welcome in, 𝗘𝗀𝗓𝗏 with Real Estate Radio Live. Thank you again for those that continue to follow the show, download the show, share the show. Appreciate that very much. And I'm excited to talk today a little bit about the market update and Q2, quarter two. We're just wrapping up Q1. Hard to believe first quarter is coming to an end. And I wanted to give everybody a little bit of an update on the market as it pertains to real estate, buying, selling, and also lending, which will become a lot more important and vibrant here in the quarters Q2 and Q3. And I will keep you updated on that. As I mentioned before, thank you again for continuing to follow the show and be dedicated and loyal to the show. We are continuing to get thousands and thousands of downloads each month. I want to thank everyone personally on these podcasts. The best way to do it. Thank you also for the continued emails, texts, and contacts on questions you have regarding real estate and lending and much more. Remember, the show is focused on the last 12 years I've been doing the show, over 1,700 shows now, over 1,700 shows. And I'm proud of that. For the last 10 years, we have continued to provide education information to the general public and also the industry as well. And we'll continue to do that. Education and information, that is our focus. So we will work hard to share information with you as I'm doing today. Also have guests on the show to help you better navigate real estate and lending. Anything around your real estate needs. That could be planning, that could be tax planning, could be financial planning, discussing 1031 exchange, real estate investments, all kinds of different ways to get yourself educated here on the show. Always remember, you can reach out to me a few different ways to do that. Area code 408-838-9060. That's 408-838-9060. You could also email me at joe@reradiolive.com. That's joe@reradiolive.com. Also remember, we have a incredible network of high-level professionals here I work with. So if you are looking for a trusted advisor in the area of helping you buy a home, sell a home. Also, remember, I do all the lending, so I could help you on the lending side all the time, regardless of whether it's a purchase, a refinance, restructuring, debt, those kinds of things. That is what I do. Happy to help you do that. We also have a network of professionals as part of our network with financial planners, CPAs, 1031 exchange, remodel experts, people who do construction, architects, all kinds of different things. So anyone that needs any of those services, please check in and let me know. All right, let's dive into the topic today. It is an update on the market. Real estate market generally in the Silicon Valley and the Bay Area, the greater Bay Area, and also an update on lending and rates and kind of where we see that going in the near future as well. So real estate in the Bay Area, inventory has picked up. The good news, inventory has picked up a little bit. I think bouncing around, we're right around 1,000 or so units on the market. In other words, about 1,000 or so listings in the Santa Clara County, which is still not a lot. I mean, we're down to 500 or 600 several months ago, a year ago. So it looks like inventory is starting to pick up. So this is good primarily for buyers, and it's still a good solid market for sellers. We're seeing the majority of homes that go on the market right now, we're seeing them, if they're priced right and if they're priced in a good area, we're seeing multiple offers still in homes selling very, very quickly. The thing that has changed the market is homes that are not in that desirable area. In other words, it may be not so strong in the schools and some of the areas that are, I wouldn't say less desirable, but a lot of people in the Silicon Valley that have the resources to buy homes, they're generally looking for strong school neighborhoods, and walking to downtown areas, a lot of different things that, come with certain areas that make certain areas a little more attractive to what they're trying to find. So in general, the real estate market what's happening right now is what is keeping price levels up and what's keeping the value of homes continuing to go up is really the low inventory and the lack of that. That is it. I mean, if we went from all of a sudden to 1,000, I said this in my last podcast, I think, if we went from 1,000 homes on the market in Santa Clara County to all of a sudden 3,000 or 4,000, we would see values come down 10, 15, 20%. I'm not sure that's going to happen. So let's focus first if you're a seller. If you're a seller, it's still a great time to get your house on the market. Matter of fact, it is one of the best times right now to get your house on the market. The reason why is inventory is still low, but it looks like there's a trend that it's starting to climb a little bit. So as a seller, strategically, you want to get your house on the market if you can when the inventory is low, because there's going to be less on the market, less for people, and the options, the supply and demand comes into play here, and it's likely that you're going to get more from your house as it sells when you're selling a home when there is less on the market. So contact your real estate agent if you're thinking about doing that. The best thing to do, again, I'm going to talk about the market right now, and then I'm going to move into finding and make sure you work with the right real estate agent. It's super critical. It really is anytime in the marketplace in general, but especially when we're in a market like this where it's really difficult to navigate. So as a buyer, again, great time, although some people might say, Joe, you say it's a great time, but interest rates are, still around 7% or a little below 7%. That's true. The general rate, again, in general, is right around 7%. Now, there's some factors that go into that. Depends on how much you're putting down. It depends on your credit scores. It depends on what type of program you have. The rates are higher than they were several years ago. There's no doubt about that. But you'll hear me say this again about lending, and I'll really get into more detail as we move into the lending conversation today on today's podcast. And that is use credit from, if you can, ideally, the selling side, the agent that's selling the home or the homeowners that's selling the home, try to negotiate the seller's credit to help you buy down the interest rate. And I'll talk about that more later as we progress through the show. So sellers, great time to get your house on the market if you're thinking about it. Also, if you're thinking about relocating or moving, another good time to do that. Some people are hesitating on put their home on the market, obviously, because their thought is, okay, great. I could get a great price for my home, Joe, but the problem is then there's not much inventory out there if I'm trying to buy. So how do I navigate that issue? How do I really figure out, yes, it's a double-edged sword, right? I could get the most for my home right now, but there's not a lot of inventory out there. So why would I risk that? Then I won't be able to find the home that I really want. And then am I stuck with a home that I don't want in a move-up situation if you're going to stay in the same area? That's true. So what you want to do is you want to work with your agents and you want to kind of scout out what is out there in general to begin with. Keep an eye on the market as a buyer, even though you're preparing to sell. All right. The other thing is we do have a program. I've talked about this a lot on these podcasts, buy before you sell. There is a program that allows you to buy before you sell. Believe it or not, it's not that complicated. I could walk you through it. I do several hundreds of these, and they're great for the right person. You could buy your home before you sell your home. It gives you some flexibility in navigating that entire transaction between the buy and the sell. Okay. Critical, though, to find the right real estate agent. I can't stress this enough. I will tell you, I'll be honest, some people don't like to hear this, but I've been in this business almost 24 years, and about 5 to 10% of us in our industry, lending and real estate, do the majority of the business. What does that mean? That means that you have about 70, 80% at least of people in our business that don't treat it like a business. And some people might not want to hear that, but I could tell you, I'm speaking to the consumers and I'm speaking to our industry. The facts are most people in lending and real estate do not treat it like a business. They treat it like really a part-time job, or it's a great way to make money, or if I can find a listing, I'll do a listing. When I can find a buyer, I'll find a buyer. Here's the problem with that. You need a professional. You need a real estate professional, someone that does this full-time, someone that studies the market, someone that is heavily networked, someone that has the ability to have properties to review properties off market, someone that has been doing this and then could really put together a comprehensive discussion and report for you of how to navigate home buying and home selling. It is a big deal. It really is. It could be the difference in not only finding the right home, but even more importantly, it could be the difference in how much you pay for a home. And this is the critical one. And I really want to stress this point to everyone right now. The right real estate agent could help navigate whether you even have a chance at getting that home or not. I can't tell you how many times I've worked with real estate agents that didn't understand how to navigate the market or negotiate between buyer and seller and really put their buyers in the strongest position to win that deal, to win that purchase. I can't tell you how many times I see buyers that I'm working with are pre-approved on the mortgage side, and they're losing out on house after house after house. And I can tell you, it's more than a coincidence that the handful of real estate agents I work with, that it's amazing how 80 to 90% of the time they win the offer, they win the bid, they win the ability for their buyers to buy that home. It's more than a coincidence. So I can't impress it to you more. Contact me and I will refer you to the right real estate agents, the ones that will give you the best chance to not only get the most for your home, but they'll give you best chance to win the opportunity to buy your home. It's a major difference. Please don't downplay this. No offense, but when I hear someone say, my cousin just got into real estate, or my aunt decided to retire and she's dabbling in real estate, or my brother, he has a construction business, but he also does real estate on the side. This goes the same for mortgage people. I'm telling you, most people do not treat this like a business. Please do yourself a favor. For one of the largest transactions you'll ever do in your life, make sure you align yourself with a professional that really understands the business. If you need referrals, if you need contacts, if some of the top real estate agents get this stuff done, reach out to me. 408-838-9060. 408-838-9060. Reach out to me if you need to get pre-approved. Reach out to me if you need a good real estate agent to help you list that home or represent you as a buyer. So now let's move into a little bit on lending. Rates, of course, are a little bit on the high side. People are a little bit still nervous about the move. I think in general, what we hear out there in the marketplace is, Joe, why in the world would I do anything with my home when I have a 3% interest rate? Well, that's true. But there are things that you can do right now to offset what might be happening at the end of the year or next year. Let me try to articulate this the best way I can. The people that make the best moves in real estate are the people that are making moves when it's not that popular to buy and sell real estate. Now, let me say that again. The people that make the most money on real estate and do the best on real estate long term are the people who study the business, understand the industry, and they make moves when it's not popular. When the mass amount of people are underway, we see this all the time, whether it's real estate, technology, in the stock market. We see this when everybody starts running towards a stock or everybody starts running towards a market to buy a home. It's almost too late, and you have to really be careful. It really is. You have to be careful. Put together a strategy and a vision and a plan to figure out what's best for you, but don't wait because everybody else is waiting. It's a mistake. If it's time for you and you look at equity in your home and you think, gosh, I could get $500,000 for my home, I'm going to buy the home, I'm going to move up, or even better, maybe you'll keep your home currently now at a great interest rate and rent it and leverage equity out of that home to buy your next home, and you have this great interest rate on a rental property. This is a lot what people, they forget about. Imagine right now, if you want to be a move-up buyer, imagine right now you have $1 million of equity in your home, right? And you run the numbers, you could rent your house for a positive net, and you have a 3% interest rate. Imagine exiting a home, putting a rental on the market at a 3% interest rate. You imagine what your returns will be over the next 25 to 30 years if that's a fixed rate as a rental property. It's a great idea. It's a great strategy. Some people are doing it. A lot of people don't think about this. Now, I'm not advocating to automatically go out there and rent a home and buy another home because that's not for everybody. But I could tell you, if you want a real estate plan, if you want to plan, if you want to really put together something that's going to be substantial for the future, an investment strategy with real estate, give me a call. Let's talk through it. This is what I do. I help people plan not only their mortgage, but their real estate, buy and sell. I work with people that have one and two homes, and I work with people that have hundreds of properties. So I'm here to help. And so, really, my point behind this conversation today about lending is don't get so hung up on interest rates. And I know it's hard I know when I say that, people go, yeah, but Joe, it's easy for you. No, I've seen this for years. I'm telling you, I've worked with investors that are multimillionaires. I've worked with people that started with one home and now they have 260 homes. Listen, please. The interest rates are up and the interest rates are higher than they were 3 or 4 years ago, right? We get that. I understand that. But the future is not now. The future is tomorrow. The future is 10 years from now. The future is 20 years from now. Your decision you make today will affect the future. All right? You all made great decisions buying a home or getting a refinance at 3%. I did too. It's great. That's wonderful. All right. That's over. Now, what are we doing now? What are we doing now to put strategies in place and processes in place and ideas and plans in place to grow your real estate wealth and or try to make your next move? Try to get the mindset that interest rates have nothing to do with your next decision. And again, I know this is hard for some people to wrap their head around. They're going, well, Joe, sure it does. Why do I go out and buy a house at 7% interest rate? Well, let me tell you why. Let me give you an example. Right now, the market is still pretty hot in the Bay Area, right? Which means the value that they're being on the market, sometimes they're going over above. There's no doubt about that. But let me paint another picture for you. Let me paint another picture for you. If rates come back down, and they will, to the 4 or 5% range, my guess is rates are going to come back down in the 5% range sometime around summertime. All right, I wish it was sooner, but I'm going to say sometime around summertime or even as late as fall. Once that happens, it is going to open the floodgates again to people buying and selling homes. And when that happens, it's going to be chaotic. I don't know if most of you remember back in 2020 and 21, people were losing out on houses left and right. And the reason why is because rates were so low, the masses were out there buying and selling homes. Try to make your transactions if you can. When the markets are like this, you have more leverage, you have more opportunities. And again, someone might say, well, Joe, the inventory is not that high. That's true. That is true. But oftentimes, this is the best time to make a move. Now, is it the best for everybody? No, that's not what I'm suggesting. What I'm suggesting is a mind shift change in the way you think. If you're sitting in your home or your office, or you're talking to your financial planner, your spouse, your partner, whatever, and you're saying, all right, here's what we're going to do. Here's the plan. We're going to wait till interest rates drop back down to 3%. We're going to make a move. Well, number one, they may not ever drop down to 3% in our lifetime. There's a chance. Number two, when they do drop down to maybe 4 or 5%, you're going to be in a market that's going to be so frustrating. I could tell you're going to lose out on offers left and right. So there is never a perfect time. But I could tell you, if you build strategies and you really look at outside the box a little bit and figure out really what you want to achieve over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years, there's a lot of different opportunities. Plus, I mentioned early in the podcast, I'll talk a little bit about it now. Your best friend right now in buying a home is to get seller credit for buying down your interest rate. People forget about this. Let me just run through a scenario again for you. All right. Forget about the 7% interest rate right now. You're out, you sell your home, you have great equity, you're getting a great price for home, you're going to go buy a house, you find this house you love. Let's say the house is listed at 1.5 million, and you're ready to purchase this home. They got a couple of different offers, or maybe the offer is a little bit lower, and your offer is at 1.5 million, and it's the highest offer. Maybe they have 3 or 4 offers just under that. You're willing to pay 1.5, right, for that house, or maybe a little bit more. But here's what you're going to do. You're going to try to create a win-win situation. You're going to go into work with, and this is where I'm telling you, this is where it comes in, having the right real estate agents. They think about this stuff in advance. When I work with real estate agents, we work on a plan for you on the strategy of buying and selling. Okay. So when you have the right people working together, like myself and the right real estate agents, we're going to put a plan together. So you're going to try to execute that plan. You're not going to sit around going, gee, what should I do now? So let's get back to this situation. You offer 1.5, but you say, I'll give you your full asking price. All right. And this is an example. I'll give you your full asking price, but I want $30,000 in seller credit that comes back to me. I say, well, wow. I mean, 30,000, that's a lot of money. Well, I could just sell it for a little bit less. That's true, you can, but they're going to get your offer. I'm not sure what it is. My offer is strong. And what I'm going to do with that money, and I love this house so much, I'm going to take that 30,000 and I'm going to work with my lender. I'm going to take that 7% interest rate and I'm going to use that money to buy it down into somewhere in the 4% range or maybe 5% range. That's what I'm going to do. So now it's more appealing for me to buy my next home if I could get a lower interest rate, but even more importantly, use the seller credit if you can. Now, I understand that not everybody is going to be in a situation to get seller credit. Not every seller is going to give you the credit. I understand that. But this is part of a strategy that if you're working with the right mortgage consultant like myself, mortgage planner like myself, and the right real estate agent, we could help you achieve these things. All right. So in general, as we close out today, I would just say it's a very good market. It's a great market for really still, I would say it's a very, very strong market, seller's market right now. And it's becoming a little better buyer's market because you're having a little more inventory out there, a little more to choose from. But it's still a very, very strong seller's market. And if we take a look at Q2, which is coming here next month, I'll give you a quick snapshot. Q2, I think, is going to be much of the same as Q1. I don't think we're going to have any changes till really Q3. That's any major changes is what I'm seeing, and what my as I explore and research and review and cover over and read over data every day as I do in the real estate market and lending market, I think with the moves, significant moves, changes in the marketplace are going to be Q3 and Q4. So Q2, much of the same, I believe. I don't think there are going to be major changes. I think rates will probably stay right around the same range. We may see the rates come down in maybe the mid sixes, low sixes could be. There's a possibility. Real estate market, we'll have to keep an eye on it. I'm doing these podcasts at least once a week, so we'll get you updated on the markets. But again, in general, put together a plan. Don't make the mistake like a lot of people do and just be so excited about that 3% interest rate that it just paralyzes you from making any other moves. It really does. I mean, I can tell you the most money made in real estate is when the rates were the highest they've ever been. Some people will go, wait, Joe, wait a minute. No, I'm telling you, do your research. The most money ever made in the real estate market historically, if you go do your research, the most wealth made, created, established in the real estate markets over the years have historically been when interest rates are higher. And you're saying, well, wait a minute, how could that be? Well, because the smart investors or the strategic investors will buy when it's the right time, regardless of the interest rates, because they're looking at for a long-term vision. See, if you're looking on a short-term vision, then that's true. That's true. Then you might not want to make a move. But if you are a person that's looking for long-term and you exercise patience in your strategy, you're almost going to always win. So remember that. I can tell you the people that have hundreds of properties right now, they didn't select these properties when interest rates are at 3-4%. They collected these properties when rates were at 12, 13, 14%, 6%, 8%, 9%. I can tell you, I work with these people all the time. So as we sit here today and look at a 7% interest rate, is it higher than before? Yeah. Is it higher than we're used to? Over the last several years? Absolutely. But the economy and the market will not stop. You have to keep your eye on the future. And the future is not today. The future is tomorrow, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years away. So, in general, we're going to see much the same in Q2. I strongly believe if anything changes, I will keep you updated on that. But remember, again, I would say as I wrap things up, the people that should really give me a call and do an analysis and kind of a mortgage review would be anybody that's interested in putting together a real estate strategy, the buy or sell long term, even short term. Anyone that has accumulated a lot of debt recently, if it's a home equity line or credit card or student debt, anything like that, give me a call. We could do a scenario where we could review all the debt and figure out if there's a consolidation program or plan we could put you in better shape with. Anybody looking to buy, even if you think you're not going to buy for 2 or 3 months, give me a call. Let's do a pre-approval. It doesn't cost you anything. I put you on a campaign. We keep you posted on rates, market share, what's happening in the market. We could keep you posted on all that. Get yourself in position to win. Get yourself in position to move forward. Put together a strategy and a plan, and I could help you do that for your next transaction, even if it's 3, 6, 12 months from now. That's what you should be doing. Remember, to reach me, area code 408-838-9060. That's area code 408-838-9060. Email me, joe@𝗓𝗡𝗎live.com. That's joe@𝗓𝗡𝗎live.com. And lastly, please remember to try to work with the best professionals you can. We have a network of people here. I could help you with your lending, your mortgage planning. We have a network of real estate agents, financial planners, CPAs, anybody that could help you in the area of real estate. All right, we're going to wrap it up. Thanks again for listening. Remember to please share this with family, friends, coworkers, neighbors, anyone. Share this information you think they could value from it. And we will be in touch and look forward to the next podcast. Until then, take care.
You've been listening to Real Estate Radio Live. For more information on today's program, visit 𝗓𝗡𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗓.com. That's 𝗓𝗡𝗡𝗓live.com. Subscribe to our podcast. Discover more at 𝗓𝗡𝗡𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧.com.